Village trustee. Thanks for joining us this evening. Tonight we have with us Greg Bacon, a Bensenville resident, who was recently seen in a memorable Super Bowl commercial. The Microsoft ad entitled Empowering features a clip of Greg and his wife Jennifer video conferencing together while their first son was being born while Greg was serving overseas. Thanks for joining us tonight, Greg.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and your family and how long you guys have been in Bensenville?
I'm originally from Northlake. My wife's from Schiller Park. I originally moved here on and off since 2003, and in 2008, that's when I enlisted in the military, and then we left, and we were down in Missouri for the last 5 years, and then we came back January of 2013.
Okay, great. So you're serving overseas.
Yes.
And you're in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you serving again?
I was in northern Iraq at the time.
Okay. And in the process, they set up a video conference between your Army base and the hospital. Can you explain how that came about?
Yes. When my wife was initially looking around for what would be the best hospital for Dean to be born at, she asked if they had any type of internet connection there, because a lot of hospitals don't have that type of capability for Wi-Fi or anything, and she asked if we could Skype the whole delivery. And I think it was Matt Wakely, he's the Vice President of Communications over there, and he's the one that thought it was a tremendous idea. That they liked it a lot, and they contacted WGN to do a news story on that.
Okay. So did you know when you went over there that give me the timeline on this whole thing.
Okay, I left Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri to deploy. It was February 15th, no, correction, it was February 28th, 2010.
Okay.
Yeah. And, excuse me, and what happened, she left to come home back here to Chicagoland area, and it was between the day that he was born, then the time that I left, where she went to Lexington, and then it was, I don't know exactly when it happened. I did not see this happening before I left. We just thought it was going to be a delivery, and I was going to try to take off around that time, but then it just didn't work out because my deployment was from February into like early March to all the way to next February. So I wanted to take that leave time.
And when was your son born?
May 4th.
May 4th.
Yeah,
okay.
so I wanted to take leave time kind of like at that halfway point. So I didn't want to be like, be there for about a month or two, come home for 2 weeks, and then have like this extended 10-month deployment after that. So, we decided, why don't we just try and Skype it, the delivery, and then maybe I can come home at the middle of my deployment, so it's a little bit easier. So yeah, it was just in between May 4th when he was born to when I left originally. That's when they planned everything.
Okay, all right. Do you know of any other soldiers that have been able to do this as well?
No, honestly, I have not. I've actually done some YouTube searches, and I've seen a lot of other people, but nobody I know personally that has done it. But a lot of other people actually have done it within various hospitals throughout the country where they were able to do that stuff.
Because you see a lot of, the feel-good stories on TV where
Yeah.
they will show somebody overseas watching their wife holding the newborn, but certainly not having maybe experienced actually seeing the birth. And it was your first child too.
Yes.
So
yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I bet. So when did you get to meet your son in person and hold him?
I don't know. I don't remember the exact day, but it was the first week of August of 2010, which is 3 months later after he was born.
Okay. And then he is how old now?
Right now he's 3,
and that's Dean.
That's Dean. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. He'll be 4 in May.
Okay.
Yep.
And he has a little brother.
Yes, Christopher, and he's 1.
Okay. Yeah. And then and you obviously were able to be here with your wife for that pregnancy.
Yes, and the experience there is by far different from watching it over the internet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You got to run out for the ice cream and
I did.
Help her
yes.
out for all of those.
And I was up
different
all
things.
night, and I got to take 2 weeks off of work when I was back at Fort Leonard Wood, and yep, that was the experience. Is just overwhelming. It was good though. It was really good.
Good. Okay, well, we're going to take a short commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the involvement with WGN and how all of that kind of took its course afterwards. Thanks, and we'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Hi, I'm Village President Frank Soto. Many residents have contacted Village Hall, our administrators, and our Public Works Director, Joseph Karachi, regarding questions and concerns about the grade cross separation at Irving Park Road and York Road. The video is intended to show you some of the timelines that are involved. But once this project is complete, it is an incredible benefit for the residents of Bensenville. It will alleviate the delays that are caused by the intersection and also will improve overall traffic flow and accessibility to Irving Park Road through Bensenville.
The York and Irving Park intersection is one of the most congested intersections in all of the Chicagoland area. We are working diligently with the Illinois Department of Transportation to try to correct this problem. Working with IDOT, we have come up with a $64 million project to try to improve businesses and our residents' flow of traffic through the area. As I mentioned, 2012 was the completion of the first bridge. We're looking at 2014 being the completion of the second bridge. After that, we'll have an intersection improvement project for the entire intersection with wider lanes, wider cross sections, safer traffic movements. This is all part of a plan that hopefully will start on the intersection improvements in 2014 with a completion sometime in the early to mid part of 2015. We are looking at this project as being a major impact on our businesses, on our traffic flow, and on the village of Bensenville in general. If you have any questions, please feel free to call the Public Works Department at 630-350-3435. Thank you.
The Water's Edge Aquatic Center is conveniently located in the Redmond Recreational Complex in Bensenville. The Water's Edge is home of Fenton High School and Wahoo swim teams, featuring an indoor 8-lane lap pool and diving well. The Aquatic Center is available for private functions and parties. Learn to swim, stay in shape, or enjoy recreational swimming year-round at the Water's Edge Aquatic Center.
The Bensenville Community Library, serving a community of readers. Whether you're old or young, a lover of words, music, or computers, the library has something for you. Check out our new Kindles, toddler jams, story and movie nights, or a variety of other activities offered. For more information, call us at 630-766-4642 or check out our schedule on the web at benlib.org. The Bensenville Community Library, celebrating 50 years of library service.
One of Chicagoland's premier ice skating facilities. The Edge is home to the Chicago Steel and Robert Morris Eagles, featuring 3 sheets of NHL regulation size ice, offering skate programs for hockey players, figure skaters, and recreational skaters of all ages. The Edge is also available for private functions and parties accommodating from 10 to 200. Whether you're a novice or an Olympian, experience the spectacular Edge Ice Arena.
Staying connected is important, and at the Village of Bensenville, it has never been easier to keep up to date with what's happening in our community. On your phone, PDA, PC, laptop, or tablet, the Village of Bensenville website offers easy integration, so you'll stay connected at home, in the office, or on the road. To follow us on Facebook, simply go to the Bensenville homepage and click on the Facebook icon in the lower left-hand corner. This will take you to the Bensenville Facebook fan page. Once there, click the like button to add us to your newsfeed and receive regular updates from around town. To follow us on Twitter, simply go to the Bensenville homepage and click on the Twitter icon in the lower left-hand corner. This will take you to the Bensenville Twitter page. Once there, click the follow button to add us to your Twitter feed and receive regular community updates. To receive email and cell phone notifications, click on the Notify Me button. This will take you to the Notify Me dashboard. Once there, simply add your email address and/or cell phone number at the top of the page, and then select which service you would like to receive updates from. The most common update section is in the Newsflash Bensenville News. Click on the envelope icon for email alerts and on the phone icon for phone alerts. You can choose one, the other, or both. To watch our public access cable show or board meetings, simply click on the Bensenville Web TV button on the lower left sidebar menu of the homepage. This will take you to our streaming center, where you can play current and past Bensenville cable TV shows and board meetings. To pay your Bensenville utility bill online, just click the Online Payments button and then follow the instructions provided on our secure payment site. If you have any problem, concern, or question to tell the village, then click on the Bensenville Action Hotline button. This will take you to the Action Line dashboard, where you can explain your issue and receive a response within 48 hours once you have clicked the Submit button at the bottom of the page. Staying connected is important, and at the Village of Bensenville, it has never been easier to keep up to date with what's happening in our community. On your phone, PDA, PC, laptop, or tablet, the Village of Bensenville website offers easy integration, so you'll stay connected wherever you are.
Spotlight in Bensenville. Again, I'm Joelle Ritter, Village Trustee. Tonight we have joining us Greg Bacon, and we're discussing the fact that him and his wife Jennifer were involved in a memorable Super Bowl commercial that had to do with the birth of their first son while Greg was overseas serving in the Army. So, Greg, we talked at the beginning of the show about how all that happened and how exciting it was, and the fact that you were actually able to see your son being born even though you were 6,000 miles away. Then we're going to move forward to now, and we just had a Super Bowl, and
Yes, we did.
You guys were in a commercial during the Super Bowl. So first of all, why don't you tell us how WGN picked up that story?
Well, WGN picked it up from, it was Matt Wakely, who's the Vice President of Communications over at Alexian Brothers. So they're the ones ultimately responsible for notifying WGN, and that's how they found out that we were going to Skype the delivery. So they came aboard and then filmed 2 different segments, and yeah, that's pretty much how they figured that out.
So WGN filled the segments while you were still over?
They did one segment when I was deployed, and then to my surprise, when I came home for my 2 weeks of leave when I first met Dean, that was the second segment that they did.
Okay.
And I was completely oblivious to that when I came home. It was as soon as I got off the plane, they're like, and by the way, WGN's at the house right now.
Really? So
yeah.
They were literally waiting for you.
Yes, they were.
So when you got to, is that the first time that you got to hold your son?
That was the very first time. There was no breaks or editing. It was the first interaction that I got from him.
So does that feel, again, that feel good story of you walking in and seeing your son?
It was, it was overwhelming. I was, the whole time I was the plane ride home. I mean, I had a lot of time to think on the way home. It was, I had 5 airplanes, like 2 Black Hawks, a C-130, a jetliner coming home. I had a lot of time to think. And, my thought process was, how am I going to react when I see him for the first time? Because I cried like a baby when he was born over the computer. So how is this going to happen when I met him for the first time? And to my surprise, I didn't cry. I was just overly excited to finally see him for the first time. So I was just like,
I've watched the video like 3 times. And I'm going to have to go watch it again now when we're done, because I just want to see it again now that I'm actually talking to you in person. Because I was in awe seeing it then. I cried. So I cried all those, but so then how did your family end up being on a Super Bowl commercial?
Well, the 2 segments are on YouTube right now, so I think while they were doing their research to fill in some gaps, they saw that video, and some of the producers from Microsoft were like in a frenzy, I guess, trying to contact me, because it took them a while. They couldn't find where we were at, and finally when they got a hold of us, they were telling me all about it. Like, yeah, we saw your videos on YouTube. We're really excited because I think it's really great, and we would like you to be in the Super Bowl commercial. And at first I was like, I don't know if this is one of those too good to be true moments. So
Right.
Alexian Brothers actually notified me within that same week, and they're like, hey, we have an opportunity for you, please give us a call. And I'm thinking, okay, this is weird. So I called them back, and then they reassured me that this is really Microsoft over there. They're from California. They really want you to be in their commercial. And yeah, it was really surreal when that happened.
So you found out you were going to be in the Super Bowl commercial. Did you run around and tell all your family and friends?
No,
Don't forget, make sure you watch it.
No, I couldn't do that. We had to sign confidentiality waivers when before that it actually aired, so we couldn't speak of it. They didn't want any of that information getting out because they wanted to keep the hype of that commercial when it first aired. So
Okay. Something to do with that whole, sometimes the commercials of the Super Bowl are better than the Super Bowl game.
yeah.
Kind of like this past Super
Exactly.
Bowl was.
Yeah.
So, okay. So your story was covered by WGN News, and now there's been added coverage with the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your takeaway from the experience? Has it changed and impacted your family?
Not really. I mean, we're just the same family, and not everybody even realizes that we were in the commercial because it's so fast. I mean, so when I go to places, nobody recognizes me, so it's just the same old lifestyle that I'm living. And but what's really cool about all of this is that when my kids get older, when they start to really understand, what's been happening, because right now they're 3 and 1, so they don't really understand. But later on, I mean, this is a huge thing that they can look back on and how cool that is, and show off to their friends, of course. And it's just, it's really exciting.
Well, I want to thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
I think that's a great, neat experience that you got to have. And I also want to thank you for volunteering to serve and take care of us over here in the United States.
Thank you very much. I
We
appreciate
really
it.
appreciate it.
Thank
you
you.
very much. Thank you for joining us this evening. Great story you got to hear about. And we'll have another one again next week. So please make sure to join us again next week for Spotlight on Bensenville. Thanks and have a great night.